Welcome to Insights. I'm Adam Rivers.
And I'm Sarah Collins. In this episode, we'll reflect carefully on the Quran verse, by verse focusing on wording, context, and coherence.
So, today actually feels like we're standing at this really massive threshold.
Yeah, it really does.
Because if you remember our last conversation, we were basically standing in front of a closed door.
Right.
We spent that whole time just discussing alif, lam, mim, those three disjointed letters that open Surah Al-Baqarah.
Just absolute mystery.
Exactly. It was total mystery. It was silence, really. It was this huge challenge to the human intellect, kind of forcing us to admit what we just don't know.
It was the ultimate, I don't know. And that has to precede any real learning.
Mm-hmm.
But today, we take one step forward into the second verse, and that closed door just swings wide open.
It really swings open.
We move from this absolute silence and mystery to a declaration that is absolute and heavy and just incredibly articulate.
It's a dramatic shift. I mean, the verse we are looking at today is Dalika al-kitabu la rayba fihi hudan lil muttaqin, which translates to, that is the book, there is no doubt in it, a guidance for the God-conscious.
Yeah.
Just saying it, even in the English translation, it feels like dropping an anchor.
Anchor's the perfect word for it.
Yeah.
Because the immediate goal here seems to be moving you, the listener, from the confusion or the humility of those disjointed letters into the certainty of the revelation.
Right. Leaving the realm of what does this mean and entering the realm of this is what is true.
Exactly. So let's walk through this word by word.
Let's do it.
Because even the very first word of this sentence is a bit of a curveball if you're really paying attention to the linguistics.
Well, for sure. The verse starts with Dalika,
Right.
which in Arabic translates to that.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the book.
But here's the thing, the Quran is right here.
Right in front of us.
Yeah, for us, it's in our hands or on our shelves. And for the original audience, the prophet was reciting it right in front of them. It's physically present.
So why doesn't it say, this is the book?
Exactly. Why point to it as if it's far away?
It's a really fascinating linguistic choice, isn't it?
It is.
Usually you use this, which is hadha, for something near you, something you can actually touch or hold.
Mm-hmm.
And you use that dalika for something distant.
But here, the distance isn't physical.
No, not at all.
It's not about meters or miles. It's about rank. It's about dignity.
So it's like a distance of status.
Precisely. Think about it in English.
Okay.
Imagine you are standing at the foot of a massive mountain.
Right.
Even if you can reach out and touch the rock face, you don't look down and say, this rock.
No, you look up.
You look up toward the peak and say, that is a mountain.
Oh, that's a great way to look at it.
Its scale makes it feel distant from your petty, everyday reality. By using dalika, the Quran is establishing a psychological posture for the reader right from the start.
That's a really helpful analogy. It creates a sense of verticality.
Exactly. It's saying this isn't a common object.
Right.
This isn't a paperback you just stuff in your back pocket and own. It's elevating the revelation to a place of majesty.
And that implies a change in the power dynamic, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, if I say this book, it feels like I possess it. It's mine to critique, mine to use as a coaster if I really want to.
Yeah, you're the master of it.
Exactly. But if I say that book, specifically in this context of high Arabic rhetoric, it feels like it stands above me. I have to rise to meet it.
That is exactly the point. It signals that the revelation is a standard that judges you. You don't just judge it. It's a gesture of dignity. And there is another layer to this pointing gesture that is really subtle but beautiful.
What is it?
Remember what we just came from, the letters, alif, lam, mim.
Right. The raw materials we...
Some scholars suggest that dalika, that is actually gesturing back to those letters.
Oh, interesting.
It's implying you see those simple raw material, those letters you use every day to order tea or chat with your friends.
Yeah.
That magnificent book is built from these simple materials.
I love that. It highlights the exact paradox we touched on last time.
Right.
The building blocks are familiar. It's just human language. But the construction is miraculous.
Exactly.
It's like pointing to a pile of bricks and then pointing to a skyscraper and saying, that structure is made of these bricks, but you could never build it.
And that sets up the moral challenge immediately.
It really does.
If the letters are available to everyone, why can't everyone produce something like this?
Right, because it implies that the issue isn't a lack of resources.
No, it's a lack of capacity in the human will or the human heart.
So, that book stands tall, made of known letters, but carrying an unknown weight.
It's interesting you use the word weight because the next word is al-kitab.
The book.
Exactly. Now, to a modern listener, a book is a very common concept.
Yeah, we have libraries full of them.
We have Kindles full of them.
Exactly.
But we have to transport ourselves back to the context of the revelation. This was an oral society.
And this is a massive cultural and psychological shift for them.
Huge.
The root word in Arabic, KTB, it implies gathering, binding, stitching, and fixing something in place. Because in an oral culture, words can be slivery. They rely on memory, which can fade or change over time.
Right. Poetry was fluid. It was memorized, performed, adapted.
So a book implies something fixed. It implies a law, a constitution, a covenant.
So it's moving from the fluidity of poetry to the stability of law.
Yes. Think about the implications for a society.
Okay.
If your values are based on oral traditions or just the whims of a tribal leader, they can change based on the mood of whoever's in power.
That's true. The chief wakes up angry, the rules change.
Exactly. But if you have al-kitab, a fixed reference, you have a stable center.
Right.
It prevents the message from being manipulated. You can't just say, oh, the chief feels differently today. No, the book says this.
It acts as a reference point. It anchors truth entirely outside of human subjectivity.
Exactly. And notice the definite article there.
Ow.
Right. It's not just kidum, a book. It is al-kitabu, the book.
Claiming centrality.
Yes. It's not presenting itself as just one option among many in the marketplace of ideas. It is claiming to be the reference point.
The archetype of what a book should be.
It's almost like saying everything else is just pages with ink.
Yeah.
This is the book.
That's the exact feeling it evokes. It demands to be the center of gravity.
Yeah.
In a world, and this applies to the ancient world and our modern world, where opinions are constantly shifting, where values are relative.
Oh, my truth battles your truth.
Exactly. In that world, this word drops an anchor. It offers a place where the conscience can truly rest because the standard doesn't move.
And, you know, that concept of resting leads perfectly into the next phrase.
Which I
think is one of the most challenging phrases for a modern skeptic to hear. The verse says, La Raba Fihi.
There is no doubt in it.
Yeah. It's such a bold statement.
It really stops you in your tracks.
It does. And in an age of skepticism, it sounds almost defensive to some people.
Right. Like, don't you dare question this.
Exactly. But looking at the linguistic commentary, the word used for doubt here, Rayb, isn't just the standard word for I'm not sure.
No, it's way heavier than that.
It is much heavier. Arabic has a really rich vocabulary for uncertainty. There are other words for doubt, like shak, which is basically a 50-50 hesitation.
Like, did I lock the door or not?
Exactly. That's shak. It's completely neutral.
But Rayb is different.
Very different. Rayb implies inner turmoil. It's anxiety.
Yeah.
It's a suspicion that unsettles you. It's the kind of doubt that makes you feel unsafe or unstable.
So it's not just a cold intellectual question mark. It's a physiological, emotional state of insecurity.
Yes. It carries a sense of accusation or fear that something is fundamentally wrong.
Right.
When the Quran says, La Rayba Fihi, it's negating that entire genus of anxiety.
Wow.
It's saying that inside this revelation, there's absolutely no justification for that kind of inner turmoil. It's a place of safety.
But here's the obvious pushback you're going to hear.
Okay, what is it?
People do doubt it. People have doubted it since the very day it was revealed.
Oh, absolutely.
There are libraries full of critiques and counter-arguments. So is the verse denying reality? Is it, gaslighting the reader?
And that is where the grammar is absolutely crucial. We have to be really precise here.
Okay.
The verse says, La Rayba Fihi, which means no doubt in it.
In it, right.
It does not say no one doubts it.
Ah, I see.
It's a statement about the object, the Quran, not the subject, the reader.
That makes so much sense.
It's saying the structure of the revelation, its internal consistency, its truth, it contains no flaws that actually justify Rayb.
That's a vital distinction. It's like looking at a perfectly cut diamond.
Mm-hmm.
You might have blurry vision and think it looks flawed. Or you might be standing in terrible lighting.
Right.
But the flaw isn't in the diamond, it's in your eye or your environment.
That's a perfect analogy. The verse is exonerating the revelation itself. It's saying that if you approach this with a clear lens, you will find consistency. You won't find the kind of contradictions or chaos that cause Rayb.
So if a person remains in a state of deep anxiety and suspicion regarding the Quran, the verse essentially suggests looking at the intent of the reader.
Right. Check the lens of the reader.
Exactly. Are you reading to find guidance, Or are you reading to validate your own ego?
Yeah, are you looking for a reason to reject it?
Because if you are looking for Rayb, you can always manufacture it.
Of course.
But the book itself is free of it.
And this connects right back to what we said about stability.
Right.
We live in a time of extreme anxiety. People are anxious about their identity, their future, what's right and wrong.
Everything feels incredibly fluid.
Liquid modernity, as sociologists call it. Nothing holds its shape.
Nothing.
Exactly. And here comes a standard that says, here is a space with no Rayb,
No anxiety.
no structural flaws. It offers a total remedy for that existential dread. It's basically saying, you can put your weight on this, it won't break.
And think about the phrasing in it, Fihi.
Yeah.
The commentary points out that this preposition implies looking inside.
Okay.
Don't just judge it from the outside. Don't throw stones at it from a distance. Enter its structure.
Enter in.
Look at its laws, its balance, its wisdom. If you really go in, you won't find the chaos you fear.
But that requires a level of fairness from the reader. You have to be willing to actually enter.
You do. And that brings us to the function of the book.
Right.
We've had the definition, that is the book. We've had the exoneration, no doubt in it. And now we get the purpose.
Which is Hudan.
Guidance.
Hudan. It's such a common word in religious circles, but let's unpack it mechanically.
Let's do it.
What does it actually mean to be guidance? Is it just a list of do's and don'ts?
It's so much more than information.
Right.
A textbook gives you information. A Wikipedia page gives you data. A map gives you guidance.
Oh, I like that.
Guidance implies movement. It implies a destination. The word Hudan suggests leading someone by the hand, showing them the very way to get somewhere specific. So it's active.
It is very active. You cannot be guided if you are standing completely still.
That's very true.
If I give you a map and you refuse to walk, the map isn't guiding you, it's just a piece of paper.
Right, you're just holding paper.
So this word challenges the reader. Are you ready to move? Are you ready to let this revelation alter your life course?
And there's a beautiful connection here to the previous surah, Al-Fatiha.
Yes.
We ended Al-Fatiha with a desperate plea. Hidina al-Sirat al-Mustaqim.
Guide us to the straight path.
Exactly. And immediately, the very next sentence in the Qur'an is the answer. That is the book, guidance.
You asked for it. Here it is.
Yeah, the prayer doesn't go unanswered. It's a direct response.
It creates a real conversation between the supplicant and the creator.
I also noticed in the notes that Hudan is actually in the indefinite form grammatically.
Right.
It's just guidance, not the guidance. Why is that?
Well, in Arabic rhetoric, the indefinite form often implies vastness or greatness.
Oh, okay. It suggests that this guidance is unlimited. It's not just guidance for how to pray. It's guidance for how to treat your neighbor, how to run an economy, how to understand your own psychology, how to deal with grief.
It covers the entire spectrum of human experience.
Exactly. It's a comprehensive map.
So it's basically the operating system for the human being.
That's a great way to put it. It touches every single aspect of life.
But here's the bit, but the verse puts a condition on it.
It does.
It doesn't say guidance for everyone.
No.
It says Hudan lil mutakin, guidance for the God-conscious, or the prudent, or however we want to translate mutakin.
This is the pivot point of the verse.
It really is.
It stops us right in our tracks. Why is the guidance conditional?
Yeah, because isn't the Quran meant for all of humanity?
Right.
It seems kind of restrictive to say it's only guidance for this specific group.
Well, ideally, yes, the message is universal.
Right.
But practically, who actually benefits?
Okay.
Think of it this way. The sun shines on everyone. It's a universal source of light. But if you board up your windows, draw the blinds, and put on a blindfold, you remain in the dark.
The sun isn't to blame.
Exactly. The sun is doing its job. Your reception is the problem. The Quran is saying that guidance requires a specific state of receptivity. And that state is defined as being one of the mutakin.
Let's really dig into this word mutakin.
We need to.
Because this is one of those words that gets so lost in translation.
It really does.
We usually hear it translated as the God-fearing or the pious.
Right.
And those words carry a lot of baggage for people. They sound like someone who just, sits in a corner and prays all day.
Mm-hmm.
But the root word, Qura'anic, has a very specific mechanical meaning, doesn't it?
It does. And understanding this root changes absolutely everything.
Walk us through it.
The root wakaya means to protect, to shield, or to guard.
To shield.
Yes. It's the same root used for preventive medicine or wearing armor in battle.
Yeah.
So a mutaki isn't just someone who is religious in a vague sense.
Right.
A mutaki is someone who is in a state of high alert, someone who is actively shielding themselves from harm.
Harm from what, exactly?
Harm from the consequences of their own actions.
Okay.
Harm from moral corruption. Harm from God's displeasure. Think of it as preventative consciousness.
Can you give us an example of how that looks?
Yeah, there is a very famous exchange between the Caliph Umar and Ubay bin Ka'ab. He was a companion of the Prophet. And this exchange illustrates this perfectly.
What happened?
Umar asked him, "What is taqwa?"
Which is the state of being a mutaki.
Exactly. And Ubay asked him back, "Have you ever walked through a path full of thorny bushes?"
Oh.
Umar said, "Yes." Ubay asked, "What did you do?"
Right.
Umar replied, "I gathered my clothes close to me and I stepped carefully so I wouldn't get snagged."
And then what?
Ubay said, "That is taqwa."
Man, that is such a vivid image.
Isn't it?
It completely reframes piety. It's not a passive state at all.
No, not at all.
It's a defensive driving strategy for life.
That's a brilliant way to put it. You are driving defensively.
Yeah.
You know that arrogance will crash your car. You know that lying will cause a pileup. You know that greed will run you right off the road.
Right.
So you put up a shield against those behaviors. You are hyper aware of your environment and your own soul.
And the verse is saying, if you have this mindset, this desire to actually protect yourself from error, then the book becomes guidance.
Precisely. Because if you don't care about consequences,
Right.
if you are reckless with your soul, if you approach the book just to pick fights or validate what you already do,
Then what happened?
then it won't guide you. In fact, later verses will say it might even increase you in confusion.
Wow.
Because you aren't using the map to walk, you're using it to argue.
That is a scary thought.
It really is.
It implies that the Quran reads you while you read it. It reflects your intention right back at you.
It absolutely does. It acts as a mirror.
Yeah.
If you come with a need for shielding, for taqwa, it gives you the shield.
Right.
If you come with arrogance, it gives you nothing but words on a page.
So it's a partnership.
Yeah. Yes. Guidance isn't just magic dust that falls on you.
Right.
It's a mix of God's gift, which is the revelation, and human readiness, which is the will to be shielded.
You know, I want to zoom out for a second and talk about the social implications of this.
Right, to do it.
Because mutakin is plural.
Right.
It's not guidance for the shield bearer singular, it's guidance for the shield bearers plural.
And that completely changes the scale.
It does.
We aren't just talking about a lonely monk on a mountain somewhere. We are talking about a society of mutakin. Imagine a community where everyone is operating with this shielding mindset.
A community where I protect you from my injustice and you protect me from yours.
Exactly. A society where people actively protect one another from corruption, from lies, from exploitation.
And why can they do that?
Because they have the book as their shared reference.
Right.
They have a standard that has no doubt in it.
So the ecosystem of the verse really starts to click together here.
It does.
You have the book, which is the stable center. It removes Rayb, the anxiety or instability.
Right.
And it produces mutakin, people who are shielded and safe.
And the cycle just feeds itself.
How?
Think about it. Doubt destroys protection.
Right.
If I doubt the rules, I won't follow them and I lose my shield.
Yeah.
But protection reduces doubt. If I live a disciplined, shielded life, I gain clarity.
My anxiety goes away.
Exactly. The book stabilizes this entire cycle.
It's absolutely fascinating how this one verse, just a few words, builds an entire model for civilization.
It really does. It gives you the source, which is the book,
Right.
the quality, which is certainty, and the result, which is guidance and protection.
Wow.
It's a three-part structure that acts as a lens for everything that follows.
That's a really key point.
Yeah.
We have to remember, we are at the very beginning of Surah Al-Baqarah.
Right.
This is a very long chapter. It's going to cover laws of divorce, warfare, finance, dietary restrictions, stories of past prophets.
It's very dense.
Extremely.
And if you lose the lens of this second verse, all those details can seem overwhelming or even random.
Yeah, you might ask, why all these rules?
Exactly. Why can't I eat this? Why do I have to pay that?
Right.
But if you hold on to verse 2, you realize, these laws are the shield. These stories are the guidance. This is exactly how I build the protection I need.
So the verse essentially acts as the terms and conditions for the rest of the reading.
Yes.
Like, proceed only if you are willing to accept this as a shield.
It's the orientation phase. You are entering a zone of serious transformation. Are you ready to be a mataki?
There is one more layer to the word doubt. Rayb, that I found really compelling in the notes before we close.
What was it?
It mentioned that Rayb isn't just doubt in the revelation itself, but it's a doubt that destroys human relationships.
Yes, this is the social cost of Rayb.
Right.
When a society lacks a central, undoubted standard, people start doubting each other.
Naturally.
I suspect your motives. You suspect mine. We lose trust entirely.
We start to preemptively attack each other because we are anxious.
Exactly. It creates a dog-eat-dog world.
And that is a world full of Rayb.
Yes. But a world built on Taqwa is the exact opposite.
How so?
It's a world where I trust that you fear a higher standard, so I am safe with you.
Wow.
And you trust that I fear a higher standard, so you are safe with me. The book sits right in the middle and guarantees that safety.
So Al-Kitab isn't just a book of theology. It's the guarantor of social peace.
In a way, yes, it absolutely is. It liberates us from the tyranny of relative values, where the strong just, make up the rules.
Right.
If there is the book that is above even the strongest king, then the weak have a shield.
And that brings us right back to the dignity of that book.
It does.
It's high up, it's out of reach of manipulation, but its guidance comes down to protect the vulnerable.
Beautifully put. It's transcendent yet urgently practical.
I'm struck by how much psychology is really packed into this.
It's
We often think of religious texts as purely doctrinal, but this verse is diagnosing the human condition. It knows we are anxious, which is the Rayb. It knows we need direction, the Huda, and it knows we are prone to self-destruction, offering Taqwa as the cure.
It's addressing the very root of human suffering, meaninglessness and a lack of discipline, the anxiety of what is true and the danger of I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
The verse solves the first with la raba fihi, certainty, and solves the second with lil mutakin, discipline, and shielding.
It really forces you to ask yourself a hard question. What am I looking for?
Right.
Am I looking for a debate or am I looking for a shield?
And that is the exact question that decides whether the Qur'an opens up to you or stays closed.
As we wrap up this episode, I'm thinking about you, the listener, who might feel a lot of that Rayb, that anxiety in your own life.
Yeah, maybe not even about religion, just about life in general.
Right. The uncertainty of the future.
The verse offers a starting point. It says, there is a place where the ground doesn't shake. But to stand on it, you have to be willing to protect yourself from your own lower impulses. You have to actively want the shield.
You have to be willing to walk through the thorns with care.
Exactly. It's an invitation to certainty, but it's an invitation that requires work.
The work of Taqwa.
That's it exactly.
That's it for this episode of Insights.
If you found this reflection helpful, follow the show and join us next time as we continue verse by verse in the Qur'an.
Until then, take one idea from this verse into your day.